Yeah.
All right, everyone. So welcome to Future Leaders Today, discussing crypto and blockchain and finance. So we've got Austin, who's new with us this week. Austin, you are joined by three powerful women. Alan, you were a woman then for a minute. I do apologize.
Am
And
I
another man
powerful
called
as
Alan,
well?
who's been with us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You are powerful. You're just not holding that feminine flag. But I'll tell you what, in this day and age, if you want to hold it, damn, you hold it. So these guys have been on various journeys through us, but I do know that probably like last summer, Alan was totally new to crypto. And various other people that join us on these calls are in similar positions. And so you grow really quickly with all the different aspects of it. But what we're going to do for these calls, from this call onwards, is we're going to really start to bring in themes. And either from next week or the week after, we're going to do like a 10-week sprint on various different points, from not having a clue about crypto all the way up to whatever level or understanding that me and Rich are coming up with, and then we're going to break it down into little sections. So people can join whichever calls they want to learn the bits that they want. For Austin and anyone else that listens, they're total free fall. Obviously, the topic for this one is going to be on and off ramping. But if at any single point people have got questions, you can either, because there's only a handful of us, just literally put your hand up. Or if you click on the chat button, no. If you click on the participants button, no. Oh, maybe I can't do as a host. How'd you put your hand up? You know when all those symbols are there? I saw them last week.
On mine, it's on more. But then I did something that didn't work.
If I click on participants, it shows all the participants, and then at the bottom there's a raised hand, a blue, that. It says
there's no chat, which is interesting.
Right, perfect. Well, so long as you've all kind of worked that out, because we're starting to use that a little bit more. It's useful more so when there's more people, because it's easy for me to see a list of people. It's not as easy for me to see everyone's beautiful faces. So you got any questions, put your hand up in any way that you want, wave, shout, and if you don't see me acknowledging somebody, please give me an audible nudge.
I'm trying to figure out how to take my hand off.
You've already asked about curtains.
It'll go away.
In the chat, it says Austin's working at the hospital. Is he a surgeon? Is he performing some kind of complex brain surgery while listening to this?
Only Austin.
Well, I assume
he wishes,
and because he's working, we're not going to encourage him to respond to us. He wishes. Okay, so he can hear us. That's good. So I'm glad that he is able to make it done. It's good that we can fill our minds with things whilst also meeting other obligations. But we're not going to delve into that too much more. We're going to stop there, and we're going to focus on what we're covering this week, which is on and off ramping, inspired by the lovely Virginia that's in our group, who has definitely had regular difficulties with this topic, and which is why I decided to just kind of cover it, because it is, if you think about the journey of crypto, at some point very early on is the point where you start to bring money into the system. And so that's why we thought, well, it'd be a good one to cover first of all anyway, because we feel more safe when we're doing it properly. I'll come to you in 2 seconds, Elaine. And then at the end of our journey, we take money out of the system. So it's really important that we have it there. Yes, Elaine.
Just on just on another note, as I was driving into Manchester today, you know, the electronic advertising signs, and I caught the word Bitcoin. So I put my head around this lorry that was half blocking it. It said, if you're seeing an advert for Bitcoin on a billboard, don't you think it's time to buy a Bitcoin? And I thought, I wish I could have taken a photograph of that. I've never seen anything like that before. That's so.
Yeah. Who was advertising it?
I don't know. It was a big orange sign with white lettering, but I didn't catch an advertiser's name. Why did it come off video?
Okay. Oh, I did that because it was just stuttering a little bit.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. You can turn it back on whenever you want.
No, it's fine. Yes, I thought that was really poignant.
Well, we are reaching. We're not at critical mass by any stretch of the imagination, but we're exiting the first stages of institutional buying, and BlackRock are coming in, JP Morgan are coming in now, and a few others, and then that's probably when the next part of retail will come in. Because if you ever look at adoption curves, I'll share this really quickly. Let's have a look. Adoption curve. Go. Share. Browser. Here we go. So when you see things like this, these are adoption curves, and they're all pretty much the same. But this is how the markets move with regards to people adopting. You get these people, which are called the early adopters, innovators, early adopters, early majority. This is like most people. Late majority is everyone that's kind of waiting for most people. And then, as they're beautifully called at the end, and this is the formal term, laggards, which is probably something to do with lagging behind.
Yeah, it's just black.
Yes.
Just
Oh, thank you. Thank you for somebody saying that.
I can see your mouse moving, but not anything else.
Isn't that interesting? That's why when I pressed share and it was black, and I thought, oh, I wondered why. Thank you, guys. Give me let me try share.
I thought it was me. I'm tapping away.
That's because advanced. That's black. That's black. I think there's not. It doesn't have permission. So in the short term, tell me if that's now coloured.
Nope.
No.
Still black.
Yeah.
We can see your cursor.
Yeah.
Still black.
And a very pretty one it is too.
I tell you what, after all this time, all these zooms and everything, you'd think
I know we've had a couple of updates this last week as well. I don't know whether you've updated yours or not.
Austin's drawing on my screen. Let's have a look. Stop share. I like that. I don't know, you could do screen sharing and other people could draw on it. So anyway, an adoption curve looks like also known as a bell curve, and we're just reaching what's called the early majority anyway, the early retail people. So onboarding, I think the easy way we're going to look at this, Alan, when I'm going to just probe you for a question or an answer, if that's okay, or your experience or something. Do you remember when you were first starting with crypto, when you were first trying to move any sort of money or buy anything with standard fiat currency?
Yeah.
I can't remember where you first began, which sort of system.
I went to Coinbase first. I can't remember how it happened exactly, the details, but I do remember buying on Coinbase. And at that time, I think there was probably a free offer. You know, fees were waived for the first month or two or something like that. And then I moved to crypto.com. The only time I think it's been difficult is when my bank didn't like me moving large sums to crypto.com at some point, and I had to get clearance, and that was a bit of a palaver. But other than that, I think it was relatively straightforward. And I've not done any off-ramping apart from putting some money on a crypto.com card and then spending the card in the supermarket. But I've not ever taken... So
you've only off-ramped through through the card.
Yeah, I've never off-ramped to a bank account into fiat, only putting fiat on the card.
Yeah, 1 second.
Which has been there's no fees. So if I'm going to go to the shop anyway, then it's a sensible option for me. But if I have to take more money out at some point, then I need to learn how to do it properly or another way.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can share a whiteboard so I can draw. Just let me know if can people see a whiteboard that's appeared?
Blackboard.
No, it's a blackboard.
Okay, can you see me drawing a smiley face?
No,
Can't
see
see
your
the
pen.
face. Yeah.
Nope.
You see the pen, but not the
See
line.
the pen on your black.
What on earth is going on? Like, I've been using Zoom for years.
The conspiracy.
It's a Mexican thing.
Arriba, arriba.
Those insects have got inside your computer.
Oh.
Oh, Grandma.
I'll draw. So Austin can see my screen. Can you see Austin drawing on the screen or not?
No.
So Austin can see this screen and can draw on this screen. You can't even see the screen. Maybe it's all your problems. Maybe like 5 of you have got a problem, and
yeah, and you're fine.
I've done a couple of updates on mine this week, so whether that's got something to do with it, these 2 updates, I don't know.
I can't imagine the problem is the fact that all you security allow participants to this as chat, share screen, profiles, more. Doesn't make sense. That's
Something in the settings.
Pause recording. Okay, look, if we can't do right, we're gonna have to. Right, you're gonna have no pictures, and you're gonna have no whiteboard, children. Okay, I'm really sorry. You're gonna have to deal with my face, and I'm gonna do things with my hands. Angelita Woosman, stop that now. That will help with trauma, won't it?
Best laugh I've had all week.
You've not got one of them flip charts or something. Draw in the background.
Okay, so we're going to use our hands, and that's how we're going to work it. So, so Alan referenced their Coinbase. He referenced a bank. He referenced moving from bank to Coinbase, and then he referenced a problem with the bank. So, if we start with Coinbase. Coinbase, like Binance, like KuCoin, Bitstamp, Robinhood, all of these are places where we call them exchanges, and you can buy and sell crypto in there. But the thing that makes some of these exchanges different is some exchanges, this corner right here is fiat. This is your bank account. And we're going to say this corner right here is Coinbase. Some of the exchanges that you have will deal with fiat. That means they've met regulation. They have to meet regulation because anybody moving fiat money around the world, some big government wants to understand KYC, which is know your customer. So that says if someone's moving money from here to here, who are they? And they also need to meet AML, anti-money laundering, which basically means where did you get the money from? We see it as a total invasion of privacy. Maybe it is. We are sold the narrative that it is for your protection in order to help monitor where money is moving around the planet to stop illicit activities. So there's a handful of good exchanges over here that will work with fiat. And I'm thinking about Austin from the state side. I'm thinking about Kraken. And Kraken was one of the first crypto exchanges to be granted a US banking license. So just something to just consider there if you're not already on Kraken. Coinbase is the most prolific, of course. And then there's various other ones dependent on where you are. But you're looking for an exchange that will deal with fiat. If you do not use an exchange that deals with fiat, then you're going to use a third-party company such as Changelly and Swift. Austin, if you can just put in the chat, you used a third-party company the other day. I'm sure it was Changelly. And these sort of sites kind of sit in let's call them in the middle. He used Changelly last night, yeah. So he said he used $30 to get 90 Nexo token. So Changely sit here. They're not exchanges. They're not, they're a bit like, you know, when you go on holiday and you've got your native currency, you've got pounds or euros or dollars, and you're walking down the street and you need Mexican pesos, and there's like a little booth and it says cambio, exchange. And I'll have like a big flag with some numbers next to it and another flag with some numbers. And you kind of walk up there and it'll say like commission free, stuff like that. And it sounds all really, really sexy. And then you'll give them your £100 and you're expecting 400 pesos and they give you 300. So Changely and Swiftly and all these other sites that exist, they just exist. They've done their banking license, so they're allowed to charge a credit card. They've got the regulation for that. And then they're going to make it really easy for you to get any coin that you want, but you'll pay a fee for that. Some of them will charge you a fee up front. Some of them will just not give you the best rate and various other things. So last night, Austin spent $30 to get 90 Nexo token. What was the total value of the Nexo tokens? I'd be interested in that. Because I'd be surprised a $30 fee for Nexo is quite a lot, unless that was an exchange, a network fee. We'll find out in a minute. So you've got fiat in this bottom corner here, total value right now 70. Network fee was 25 Nexo token. Okay, so I'm going to pause network fee for a minute. So you've got fiat money down here. You've got exchanges that accept fiat currency over here. And you've got these intermediary third-party sites here. I probably did them an injustice. They're very useful. They're not all bad, but they are designed for convenience. And we all know that convenience, whenever you get it, means you're going to pay for something in another way, which is usually quality or value or something like that. And they sit kind of like in the middle. With the ones in the bottom corner here, you're actually moving pounds or dollars or euros into this ecospace. That means you can hold pounds here like a bank. You couldn't do that here. Changely sat in the middle is designed to switch something out. That's it. Once you have money in pounds over here or dollars or euros, you can swap that out then for whatever coin is on that platform. So you would usually change it out for what we call a stable coin. Can anyone put their hand up in any way they want if they do not know what a stable coin is? Angelita, okay. Who wants to explain what a stable coin is?
It's the kind of crypto that horses use.
That's not helpful.
It's a stable coin. So TGBP is tied to the British pound. So 1 TGBP will always be worth 1 GBP, £1. So whether the pound goes up or down, that will always stay the same. So if you've got 1,000 TGBP, it will always be worth £1,000.
Okay.
Hence why they're called stable coins.
Okay. So how do you know which ones are stable? Yeah, you got to go and look it up.
Well, you'll learn over time. Like they don't have a big arrow, but
okay.
they first of all, like if you look at the percentage change, it will always be like around 0 because they never really change.
Okay.
You can usually tell when you look at a chart, but also a really obvious way is if in the ticker is the 3 or 4 letter code for something. Bitcoin is BTC. Mm-hmm. Alan just talked about one that was T, GBP. Yeah. If in the ticker you can see a currency, USD, GBP, CAD, Japanese yen, if you can see that within the ticker, it's probably a stable coin.
Stable. Okay. Thank you.
There are some other ones which will not have the ticker, which will not say USD in them, and they are stable coins. But you won't find one that says USD that's not a stable coin. Does that make sense?
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
So, Alan, whilst you're on, why was stable invented.
You froze and I didn't hear the most of it.
Shine now. Why were stable coins invented?
I'm actually not sure, but I think I can see why they're useful. I'm not sure why they were invented. Probably.
Okay. So
probably
going back to
prevent you needing to go back to fiat. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Andy's raised their hand. Andy, do you have a better answer for that?
No, not an answer. It's a question. Is there such a thing as an unstable coin then?
Well, they're not called unstable coins, but it is a good presupposition. If you think about it, if you were to answer this question, is the crypto industry volatile or stable? What would you say?
Volatile.
Volatile. So that basically means that the coins can, I mean, we had a 35% drop this week. Yeah. People will probably jump off buildings. So it's a very crazy market. So I think they're called stable coins, just a lot of these coins are meant to just, you know, they just track all the way. The reason they were invented is if we have, let me see if I can just lower your hand. Yep. If we have in this corner banks and we have in this corner exchanges that can hold a bank account, that means they've done more work to meet regulation, because you can't hold fiat money without the IMF and the World Bank wanting to know why you're doing it. That's AML KYC. So stablecoins came about because all these other exchanges over here, they want to be able to move money and move coins around. And so if you've just made £10,000, $10,000 on Bitcoin, and you want to exit, what do you exit into? Because unless you can exit into pounds or dollars or some fiat currency, you're going to exit from one volatile coin to another. And so they created a stable coin so that people could have some crypto version of a coin that's stable, so that you can take your profits and keep your money in that coin until you're ready to spend it again. So they came around to serve a need. But from serving that need, all these other exchanges came about that said, hey, we'll just work with crypto stable coins. We don't need a banking license. We don't need to work with GBP. We're going to operate up here. So this whole top row up here is about exchanges and places where you can buy and sell and everything, but that you can't do it in pounds. And this is where a lot of people play. And it's fine to play up here, but at some point your account goes from 10 grand to 20 grand to 30 grand, 40, 50, 60, and you've made loads of money, but you're so far away from this that you can't actually get your money out, because these sorts of exchanges don't deal with cash, don't deal with fiat. I just want to check I've not frozen.
No, you're good.
You're good here.
Yep.
No, all good. Okay, so so you've got, I call these interplanetary exchanges, and I call them interplanetary because as far as if you think about things like bank accounts, and they're like offshore bank accounts, I know these are not offshore. These aren't even in the picture. These are like gone out of space. And some of these places can provide credit cards, and then you could spend directly from them. Some of them are highly illegal. Some of them just go bust overnight. Some of them are very well established, but want nothing to do with regulation here. So it's really good to understand the difference between exchanges that sit here and exchanges that sit here. And Austin, if you're still able to message, I think you use Robinhood, and I'm fairly certain with Robinhood that you can hold USD. If you do use Robinhood, let us know if that's accurate or not. So, on ramping and off ramping. So just to recap, when you're bringing money in, we're taking money from a bank into either an exchange that'll hold GBP or USD or whatever, or you're going to go through a changing service. Austin says Robinhood allows you to buy some crypto, Dogecoin primarily. But Austin, do you know if you can, if you sold that crypto on Robinhood, can you sell it into actually USD? Do you actually connect a bank account to it? I.e., is it like an exchange down here, or is Robinhood an exchange that's up here that wants nothing to do with fiat? So I'm interested to know. Okay, so it is fiat based. All right, cool. So that's a little bit like Coinbase. Coinbase is very fiat based. You know, it's if you were to sell anything in Coinbase, it just naturally sells it into fiat, and it sounds like Robinhood does the same as that. The thing that has been coming up a lot in the chats recently has been around exiting, though, and exiting gets a little bit more complex because that's what I told you about in the middle, the Changeley, that just charges a credit card. If any of you have ever used crypto.com, and I think, or even Coinbase, Alan, when you did your first purchase on Coinbase, did you just attach your credit card to it?
I actually can't remember. So it just feels like a lifetime ago.
Can I butt in there?
I know.
When I bought on Coinbase,
Yeah, sure.
I attached a credit card, well, not a credit card, my bank card to it.
Yeah.
And I just purchased from through that.
So that's how most people will buy crypto, with a card. So I want you to think about it, that when you're entering a card, you're going to put your long card number in, you're going to put your start date, your end date, that sort of stuff. And whatever the merchant, as we would call it in finance, they're just going to charge the your card. If you're going to try and later on put money back into your fiat world, you can't put money into someone's account using a card. Like, just ponder it. Like, you can charge a card with the card details, but if I said, "Oh, give us 20 quid," you wouldn't say, "Give us your long card number, your sort code, and your security code on the back and your expiry date." That's the details you give to take money out. So many people, on-ramping is fairly easy, because this site in the corner, Coinbase, crypto.com, you can add your bank details. Changeley, that sits in the middle, you can add your, sorry, not bank details, card details. And Coinbase and Robinhood, you can add your details, your card details anytime. But at some point, if you, forget that. At some point, if you want to exit out, you need to connect a bank. And this is where I think people get a bit confused sometimes, because they know they've used a certain site to charge themselves, but they've not done it the other way around. Coinbase 3 is through the roof, absolutely. Like, we try and encourage people to avoid Coinbase at all costs. Unfortunately for Austin, being in America, he has substantially less options than British and European people do. Australia and America are two of the, not higher regulated, but just your options are less. You got less options at the end of the day. If you, in fact, yeah, more ways for the government to get money. That is true. Do us a favor, Austin, just see if you can what state are you in? Because I've just remembered that different states in America are allowed different rules. In the UK, we've got flat rules, which you could argue is good and not good. But it just depends on what state you're in. But I'm interested to know if you can get a crypto.com account. That's one of the things I'd be interested to know. You'll know, well, you'll know when you're trying to sign up to it. Pennsylvania currently, legal addresses in Connecticut. I wish that meant something to me. I use crypto.com currently. So if you're using, well, okay, we're going to come on to crypto.com now then. So you've moved your money in using a bank card. You've bought some money. You've maybe ended up in an exchange up here that doesn't have anything. The real question now becomes, how do you start to get that money out? We'll move on to fees afterwards. I want to make sure I do cover the whole fees thing. To get your money out of crypto, you've got two options. You either register with an exchange that sits in this bottom corner. That means an exchange that will connect a bank, crypto.com, dependent on what country, Binance, won't happen in America. Robinhood, by the sounds of things. You've got Kraken, you've got Swissborg, and there's another good one that I always recommend as well. Yeah, a second. Oh, Swipe. Swipe is owned by Binance though, so I'm not too sure what countries that will be allowed in. But as soon as you're on one of these accounts and you can connect it, Robinhood does not allow you to send crypto off his platform if you purchase it there. I didn't know that. Okay. But on crypto.com, if you're using crypto.com at the minute, you can connect crypto.com to your bank. And for as long as it's connected to your bank, in the UK, tell me if it's different in the States, you can send fiat money from crypto.com to your bank, minimum $100 worth, equivalent. So in the UK, like 60, 70 quid. So if you've already got that, then you've already got a way to off-ramp out. So we're going to bring, so we've got fiat banks here. We've got crypto exchanges here that accept fiat. We've got all the interplanetary on here. Well, we'll just put them here. And over here in this corner, we've got, we're back to exchanges that can accept bank accounts. It's probably the same as these actually. Don't need these two hands. So you're back down into this corner. If you can connect your bank account to one of these exchanges, then you can off-ramp back into your bank account. Now, if, for example, if crypto.com only works with, let's say, USDC. So there you can see Angelita, because it's called USDC. We know it's a stable coin, and it's made by a company called Circle. So they hold USDC. Let's say that you're up here in some random coin. Then you would sell your random coin inside the exchange for USDC. You then know it's stable, it's locked, whatever profits you've made are locked. You'd send USDC to here, and then you would off-ramp USDC via your bank account into your bank, because it's impossible for a connection to be made up here. You won't be able to connect your random coin to your bank account. You have to do it in a two-step process. If you're using sites like Robinhood, so Austin talks about using a site that you can't send your coins off, I would just stop using it. There's a saying of a guy who runs a YouTube channel called the Nomad Capitalist, and he's a unique person. You either love him or hate him. He's not someone I particularly enjoy to listen to, but his content's really, really good. And he always says, live where people treat you best. Easy to say, especially if you've got money and you can, go around the world. But if you think about it from a crypto sense, trade your crypto on the exchanges and with the platforms where you're treated the best. So if you're not able to move money around the cryptoverse from Robinhood, and there's other options, then get off it. So nothing stops you at all. None of this is tax advice whatsoever, but the crypto world is a very different world to the banking world. All these sites up here, they don't care who you are. A lot of them are decentralized. A lot of them will have got no KYC or anything like that. Some of them are high risk as well. So you've got to be aware of that. And we're not going to go into fine details with them all. But nothing stops you taking your money into a space where it can become a stable coin, sending it from a stable coin to here, trading it for whatever coin that you want. Say that you make a gain from that, you would then exchange it back to USDC and back into here. Now, at some point when it gets to here, the government at some point will want to know, where did that money come from? And 1,000 came out, 1,000 came in, and they'll probably want to tax you on that 9,000. But what tax is declared and how you declare it is a completely different conversation. This conversation is about how do we move money around an ecosystem, and you don't have to only use the sites that you need to use. If you can go and start using some sites that don't require connection to a bank, you'll have far more options at your disposal. So I'm going to pause there because I know that a lot of this is new for Angelita and it might just be way over your head. I don't know. But are there any sort of like things that don't make sense from that so far, or any questions that come up for anybody in particular? I'll give you a minute. All good? All right, well, that's cool then. Well, Austin says, won't I be hitting fees when off ramping? You can and you cannot. So there are people that are on Celsius right now, and Celsius exists up here. Celsius does not deal with fiat. You can't buy and sell on Celsius. But there is an option on Celsius that says, do you want to buy? And when you click buy, it's very clever how it does it, but you're actually using one of these companies. You're using a third-party company that has got the legal right to charge something, an intermediary, and they give you a price. They manage the whole buying process and then send it to Celsius. So you think Celsius is doing it, but they're not. The same happens when you're off-ramping. There are some companies, and I'm thinking of Kraken in particular. Kraken can hold USD. But when you're off-ramping from Kraken, they actually use a third-party company to do the off-ramping, and they charge you $13 for that. Now, if you're off-ramping 10 grand, you might not care. You're being charged $13. But if you're off-ramping £10, I did a test one, off-ramping £10, and I had to pay £13 to do it. Now, I did it because I just wanted to kind of see it going through. And in that instance, it would be ridiculous. I'd never do that again. So sounds like across the board, moving large sums makes the most sense when trading crypto. Absolutely. Most of the fees you'll see in all of crypto are not relative to the amount. They're fixed fees. So you're not paying, in the traditional sense, 0.15% of the total amount. You're just paying a fixed fee. So if you're doing small transactions, it feels like a lot. But if you're off-ramping on something like crypto.com, crypto.com has no fees. You can off-ramp from crypto.com to your bank fee-free, but you have to off-ramp $100. Now, Alan earlier on talked about a crypto card, which I don't have on me. And crypto.com offer a crypto card, and you can transfer within the app any coin that you want into your crypto card wallet, let's call it, and then go into a shop and spend it. And all of that is fee-free. Alan, did you want to say something?
No, I just unmuted myself just in case, because you'd mentioned my name. Thought you might ask me something in a minute.
No, it's cool. Good thinking, though. So also it says sending USDC from CDC to Celsius has a fee. Any way to avoid that? No, so that's not on-ramping and off-ramping. That's just sending. Rule number one, if you want to send crypto from A to B, you're going to pay a fee. Two fees. You have an exchange fee and you have a network fee. Whatever you do, you'll never, ever avoid a network fee. A network fee is like the crypto's way of saying pay your way. Like, if you think about it, what is a crypto coin? Like, what keeps it alive? that there was a point in 2011 or 12, what were we in 2017? There was a point a few years ago where Bitcoin dropped from $3,108 a coin to 108. So I want you to imagine, this is the early days of crypto, that your coin, you've got all these coins, they've gone from $3 grand a coin to 108. And basically the coins were worth so little that the people that were mining the coins couldn't keep the network open. And all these miners were turning their coins off, or their rigs off, as they're called, their mining rigs around the world. That's 2 miners. And they couldn't afford to keep themselves going. But they also knew that if they turn off their machines, Bitcoin's gone, physically gone. There isn't anybody mining, doing the transactions, so that when you say, I want to send a Bitcoin, a computer somewhere receives that request, carries it out, a whole network of computers around the world verify it to say it's true, and then it's on the ledger. And this is the same for Ethereum, for Bitcoin. They work a bit differently, and we're not going to get into it now. So network fees is just the network saying, look, you've got to pay to make this transaction happen. So you want to avoid moving coins as often as you can. Like, get used to the platforms that you want to use. Understand, where can I get money in very easily and very cheaply? Where can I buy coins, most of the coins I want to buy, very easily and very cheaply? Where do I want to store them? That might be like Celsius, where I can earn some interest on it. And if I want to get them out, how do I do that? And you want to trade, in my opinion, as little as you can. You want to move things as little as you can. You want to hold things, and then when you're ready, you sell it. Because every time you're going to move it, you're going to pay a fee. The second fee is the exchange fee. Some exchanges are, I'm going to say it, assholes. Coinbase is one of them. And some exchanges don't charge you a penny, like Celsius. Coinbase charge a lot of money because they make the whole process very easy, very easy. And again, you'll pay a fee for that. But if you're long-term on coins anyway, if I was going to say that a coin's going to be worth, if Bitcoin's going to be worth 100 grand in the next year, does it really matter? One of these things that becomes superfluous. But if you're trading and you're trying to get in and out of coins all the time, or get the next big thing, you're going to feel those fees, and they make a fortune in fees, which is why I barely move any of my coins. And I've got coins sometimes. I've got the same coin sat in 3 different places that does my head in. But I can't earn on those coins, and I'm still using all 3 sites. So I'm not going to move them just because I'll end up paying 60 quid in fees, and I'll just leave it. Even though it annoys me a little bit at this stage, I'm quite happy to just leave them because I don't need to bring them all together into one spot. So in terms of fees, you're always going to pay it. And in the market, you've got things like Ethereum. Ethereum fees can get ridiculously high. Bitcoin fees can get ridiculously high, because if all of a sudden a lot of people want to use the network and send a lot of stuff, then you're going to get charged more. Imagine your postal service. Imagine if your postal service adjusted the price of a stamp dependent on the number of letters being sent. When in a year would you imagine you'd pay the most money for a stamp if it adjusted according to volume every day? That's a question for everybody. Christmas. So in the crypto world, when do you think Christmas periods are?
When
it begins with F.
February. Is it when the price is at the highest? Would people not want to get it out when it's at the highest price?
All the way around.
Oh, really? Oh, when they panic and it's fallen.
Yeah, what's that called? When people panic buy?
FOMO. No, the opposite of FOMO. Yeah,
FOMO.
Yeah, FOMO, that's it.
Fear of missing out. So whenever there is a FOMO craze in Bitcoin, and there's charts, and there's actually a greed index you can go to. When that greed index is above 80%, you are in FOMO territory. When FOMO territory occurs, Ethereum price will go through the roof. Dependent on which period, Bitcoin price might go through the roof as well. And there's nothing you can do about that. So let's have a look at Nexo, because I'm curious.
So those fees would be high whether you're buying or selling. I mean, obviously you can get.
Doesn't matter if you don't think of it as buying and selling. Think of it as moving. If you want to move an Ethereum backed token, you're going to pay for it. Doesn't matter if you're buying or selling.
Okay, and are these network fees, is that the same as gas fees or is that something else?
Yeah, that's not a gas fee came from Ethereum, but effectively people just call them gas fees now. But technically speaking, gas is an Ethereum term. So let's have a look. Austin says, getting Nexo was a painful process. Took me 3 days to figure it out. And even then the fees were absurd. I'd like to get more, but not the way I did. All right, so let's use, so I can't screen share, it is frustrating. Let's look at how we would buy Nexo. I'm just gonna, by chance, share again and see if you can all see my screen. Share sound. Share a portion of my screen. Share. Can you see my screen, anyone?
Is your screen black?
Oh my word.
That's all we've got, a black screen.
Oh, hang on. Resume share.
Still black.
Oh, that's funny. So when it says your screen sharing is paused and I can't hit. Give me a second. I think I'm working it out. Screen share. Share individual share for every also share desktop show. Show green border. Block all other windows. Screen capture mode, no. Share, stop share. No, okay, we're not doing it that way. We're just gonna talk about it. So remember that I said you can go to sites like CoinGecko. I'm gonna post this in the chat. And then when you're in CoinGecko, I'm gonna type the word Nexo. And then Nexo. Once you're inside a coin, you can click on markets. And I can see all the places that it's available here. So let's look at Uniswap. Let's see what the fees are on Uniswap. So I know that Uniswap, which is one of those sites that exists at the top, Uniswap has nothing to do with fiat. It is an Ethereum-based site. Just get this up now. Okay, so we're going to swap Ethereum for Nexo. Import. Ethereum for Nexo. We're going to swap 1 Ethereum. Here we go. So for 1 Ethereum, I'm going to get, in fact, let's not do it from Ethereum, let's do it from USDC. And we're going to do $200. So I'm going to send it into the group because then everyone can see it. Seeing as we can't screen share from from the call. So for those that can see it in the Telegram group, and Austin, if you can have a look. So this is swapping 200 USDC for 277 Nexo. The price impact is 0.02%. That means that it's 0.02% different from what the overall aggregate Nexo. And I'm happy with anything up to 2%. So 0.0 anything is fine for me. Liquidity provider fees. So that is because somebody is providing the USDC and the Nexo so that this trade can even happen. And they're going to charge $1.20. And the route that it's going to take is from USDC to Ethereum and then to Nexo. Let's have a look at Ether. View pair analytics. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to send another picture now, and I'm going to explain these. Okay, let's close. Sent another picture as well. Alan, can you see both of those pictures in the Telegram group?
I'm just grabbing my phone. Oh, 1 sec.
Oh, right, okay, no worries. So, Andy, are you in there at the minute?
I can see
okay,
them.
no worries.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I can see both pictures, yeah.
So that's, we're going to do a Uniswap tutorial probably next week. It was going to be this week, but I thought this was more important. So in that instance there, remember that Uniswap is an Ethereum-based site. So the second image is me wanting to swap 1 Ethereum for Nexo tokens. And you can see there that there's a 0.16 price impact in green at the bottom. That means there's 0.16 difference in price between what I'm getting and what the average industry price for this pair would be. And it says liquidity provider fee 0.003 Ethereum. And if I type into Google 0.003 Ethereum in USD, that is $4. So for this fee to take place, I'll be charged $4 for that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look. Where's everyone else coming back? There we go. If you look at the other page before it, the one for USDC, because nobody is providing an option to trade USDC into Nexo, Uniswap does it for you. Uniswap helps you out. It says, hey, look, I'll create a deal where we'll move you from USDC to Ethereum, from Ethereum to Nexo. But it'll be a 2-part transaction. There'll be a part 1 and a part 2. And so there's a little bit of a charge for part 1, and that, which I think was $1.20. And then part 2 will probably be the same as what we're looking at right now. So there'd still be fees on top of that, network fees. Austin says he had to step away. So it's a shame you missed that bit, Austin. But yeah, I would say doing it through Uniswap would be a doddle. But just remember that if Nexo is an Ethereum-based token and you want to buy it, you will be paying network fees. There's nothing you can do about that. So $30, which is a high network fee. But if you're only buying $100 worth, that seems extortionate. But if you were buying $1,000, you wouldn't think about it. So there's no easy way around this. In the crypto world, we call this scaling, and they're trying to work out how do we, if the postal service can only deal with 100 letters a day before the price goes up, then they have a scaling problem. Because if in the early days when there's only 50 letters, it's fine. But if we're constantly sending 80 to 200 letters a day now, we need to make the postal service better. So we need to scale it up. And so Ethereum has been working hard to try and find how do you how do you get to do more transactions? And so therefore kind of bring the price down, bring the gas fee down. But there's no easy answer to it at all. How do you know which Nexo is the right one on Uniswap? I can't share my screen. So in fact, just for ease, I'm just going to share my screen because for some reason, Austin can see it. All right. So just give me, it'll take me 2 seconds to do this. And I'll make sure for next week we got it back on. So Austin, really quickly, don't draw on my screen, dude. If you're on CoinGecko and I type the word Nexo, Nexo will appear. Screen is black, but I can draw on it. Oh my God. I'll record something. I don't even know what's going on today. How do you know which is the right one? Remember on, I'll keep sharing to type your coin in CoinGecko and click on the coin that you want. You'll see a list of them. And then you click on markets when you're in the coin that you want, and it'll show you all the markets. I'll send a screenshot of it so people can see it. You click this. How to ensure. How to ensure. Okay, there you go. Check the no worries, Andy. I've just seen your message then. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next week. So if you check on, I've posted it in Telegram. And if you use sites like coin checkers and CoinGeckos, you'll generally stay safer. But if I click on that Nexo/ETH, that will take me directly to Uniswap and it will show me the correct contract. The other thing I can do is when you are on, hang on, let me take a bigger picture. We're going to cover this all next week, Austin, because next week we're going to be doing Uniswap. But if you look at this image, when I've looked at Nexo directly on CoinGecko, and I just look at the main information it's trying to give me, I can click on the Etherscan link, which will take me to the Nexo blockchain on Etherscan or Ether Explorer or Blockchain. They're all the same. And there'll be a little box that says contract. But now also on CoinGecko underneath, it actually has the contract. And for Angelita, a contract is like the unique identifier for that coin, because people can make I could make a coin today and call it Nexo. No one could stop me. And I could put it on Uniswap. And you could think you're buying Nexo. And people do that. So one of the things to always check is that you are actually buying the correct token on a blockchain. But I'm not going to get more into that because that is like Uniswap 101. So we'll do that when we're doing the Uniswap call. Just going to come back to this. So we have money that's in an account. You use a card or something like that to draw it out. At the point you end up trading and you're doing stuff over here, yes, you have to pay network fees. Yes, you have to pay exchange fees. That's why it's really important to decide who you're going to use. Like I use 3 places and that's it. And I must have registered with 50. But between Binance, Crypto.com and Celsius, I'm completely happy. Sorry, Swissborg. I started using Swissborg recently and it is incredibly slick. Incredibly slick. So long as you've got your power team of places that you're going to use, then you can get your money into the crypto sphere. But as quickly as possible, you want to get an actual bank connection between your bank account and some form of company. And all the ones that I use do not charge a fee to get money out. And I would be very surprised, Austin, if you are forced to have to pay a fee every time. You will be on the sites that you're using, but just look at crypto.com and see if you can connect crypto.com to your bank account. And the way you do it is you'll send money as a bank transfer from your bank into crypto.com. And that's how it creates the connection between the two. So I wanted to come on today just to discuss that, just to discuss moving money. People are at different stages, different places, but I'm going to ask people independently. Austin, you can just message if you want. Have you taken any money out of crypto? So I'm not actually exited any money out. Is that correct?
You broke up then.
Okay. If am I correct in saying that other than using the crypto.com bank card, you've never exited money out of your crypto?
I think that's correct. I might have moved some in order to pay some bills back to the bank account from which I had originally put money. So I've got a Santander bank account. I might have moved some out of it, out of crypto.com, back into there to pay some bills, but I can't remember whether I did or not. But that also brings me to my next question. You know, in the chat this week, there was all talk about Revolut and things like that. Why were we talking about Revolut when, if we can get money out of crypto.com for free, why would we need to complicate things and open up something new and move things to somewhere new?
So because unfortunately Brexit, so whether you like it or not, it is veering its head in a lot of places at the minute. So crypto.com sits down here. It can charge you, you can hold pounds, you can get a bank card. Like, as far as regulation goes, crypto.com's very fiat regulated, yeah. But because of Brexit and wherever crypto.com is based, whoever provided the bank accounts for crypto.com, after Brexit, they were like, oh, we can't provide you a GBP account. So crypto.com said to all of its users, hey, look, you've got a month to do something with your fiat GBP. And if you don't, we're going to convert it to TGBP. We're going to convert it to a stable coin version. So you don't lose it, but it's no longer real. It's crypto money. And so at the minute, crypto.com doesn't have a GBP bank account. Now, that's got nothing to do with its card. Its card is issued by another company. And a while ago, the crypto.com card stopped and they had to find a new provider. And whoever this new provider is, Brexit hasn't affected. So the conversation the other day, Virginia's like, look, I've got loads of money in crypto.com and I need to get it out. Crypto.com still offer Euro bank accounts. Well, that's fine, but you can't send money from a Euro bank account just because of the way the app works. It has to be connected to a Euro bank account. So that's where Revolut comes in. Revolut allows a UK, well, anyone in the world where Revolut is, and Revolut is in the States, it allows you to have, I've got a Euro bank account, a Mexican bank account, a Thai bank account, Canadian, Japanese, Australian, and Singapore, all in my app with Japanese bank details, American bank details with routing addresses. If it's European, it's got an IBAN. So you can imagine all these different ways that you send money. So because Revolut allows for Euro, then I can sell my crypto for
We've lost you, Daniel.
Frozen.
Broken up. Whatever.
So count 4, 3, 2, 1. Back in the room.
Back in the room. Only
We
Joe.
can hear you.
No. Turn my video off. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
You sound
hear
clear.
me? No.
Yeah, you're clear for me.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, I'm back. Okay.
Yeah.
Momentary lapse.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. So where is it then? All right. So you can. So then in crypto.com, I sell my USDC, which effectively is just USD but crypto version, for euro, and there's an exchange rate for that. And crypto.com offers the interbank exchange rate, which is the good exchange rate. That's what you want. So once you've sold your USDC into your euro bank account in crypto.com, you then just send it from your euro bank account to your Revolut euro account. And then you would convert it from your Revolut euro account into GBP within Revolut. So that's where Revolut comes into the mix. Does that answer your question, Alan?
Yeah, and so if I can just ask quickly, that's why it was no problem for me, because if I did move it, I would have done it several months ago before Brexit, and that's why it wasn't a problem then. Whereas now it's an issue, so that's why we've got to do it now.
It is. But I would do, a second, if you haven't already, let's search for Swissborg.
What is Swissborg?
So Swissborg is just another it's an exchange that sits down here, really. Like, it's nothing. I'm trying to find you the link for it. I'll get you the link for it, Alan, because it's the simplest on-off ramp I've ever used. Absolutely the simplest. So it sits in this bottom corner on here, meaning the bank regulation. So a minute ago, we were saying you'd sell your coin in some random space up here for USDC. You'd send it to crypto.com. You'd sell that out into euro. You'd convert that. You'd send that to Revolut and convert it to pounds. Yeah, that's a long way around. Instead, you would just send it straight to Swissborg. You'd sell it for pounds and you'd send it to your bank account. So Swissborg for me has replaced CDC. I'm just going to bring in some of Austin's comments here. So he says, all my money in crypto is in Celsius. So Celsius is up here. And Nexo. Nexo is up there. None of it has been moved since I put it in. Won't there be fees to send coins from crypto.com to MetaMask in order to Uniswap? Yes, there will. If Swissborg is simple, I have a feeling it won't be much help in the US. Swissborg definitely. Well, I don't know for sure. I'm pretty certain Swissborg is not US. Just one thing for everybody. MetaMask, Uniswap, these are all Ethereum platforms. Whenever I'm sending money, I have a MetaMask wallet where I use on Uniswap and other things, but I send like for me, I'll send like 500 quid to it. And that way I'm paying one fee and I'll send that out. And then whenever I need it, it's there. So I don't just send just enough to cover something, because you'll always pay random amounts with fees. So I send a chunk to my MetaMask to cover whatever I need to do for the next 6 months. Because I'm trying to minimize the cost from Coinbase, crypto.com to MetaMask. Every time I buy a coin, yes, I'm going to have to pay fees. So there's no point paying a £30 fee to buy £40 worth of coins. Or there's no point paying $30 to buy $20 worth of coins. It just isn't worth it. So you just wouldn't do it. But if you're going to send from Celsius or from Nexo to MetaMask, send a chunk that you're going to cover you for a bit anyway, or just leave it where it is. So Austin, ponder that and come back with a question if you've got one. Alan, so then, yes, what you did was before Brexit and didn't count, just like me. But now you want to make sure, going back to that question I was going to ask you, well, you want to make sure that you have a way to off-ramp, a safe way to off-ramp. So I would be signing up to Swissborg and testing it so that you know it works, because then you know you've got a way out whenever you need it.
Okay. I did, just before this call, I Googled Swissborg, and the first thing that came up is that their AMA was tonight. So hopefully that will be on a replay somewhere, and that might be a good place to learn something.
Yeah.
There was their annual AMA tonight, apparently.
Well, send me the link when you find it, because they're growing very quickly in my quality estimate, meaning like their quality is growing on me quickly in my estimation the more I'm researching them.
Okay.
And I go back to this power team, like I feel comfortable knowing I have at least 3 ways to exit crypto that I've tested that are secure, that I'm happy with, and that I don't think are going to go away. And between those 3 ways, that allows me to know that I have done it, I can do it, and I'm fee free. Well, I pay a tiny bit of fees between one, but I don't care about that. I'll come back to Elaine and Angelita in a minute. Austin says, why don't more people just buy crypto off other people? Like, why wouldn't I send 500 to you, Daniel, for 500 worth of sell tokens sent to my wallet? Of course you could. That's called OTC, over the counter, or P2P, peer-to-peer. There's whole sites set up for that. I can introduce you to some WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups where they're OTC, good ones as well. And you won't have to pay any network fees or anything. Sorry, you won't have to pay any exchange fees, but you will still have to pay a network fee. You can't get away from network fee. If the network fee is the postman actually taking the letter for you, but the exchange fee is like, let's say, going to the post office and buying a stamp and then filling it out for you. So you don't need an exchange. We can just trade between ourselves. But for me to actually send it to you, the network has to verify that, and the network will charge me a fee as the sender.
So it's like buying a private seller off eBay. You've still got to pay your postage.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. So I could go to my local white goods store and buy a washing machine, and let's just say that it's a big brand store, and they're going to charge me 1,100 for the washing machine. Yeah. And I buy it, but there's still a delivery fee. Or I could go on eBay where there's private sellers, and they're just going to sell it me for $1,000. And I say, brilliant, I've saved 100, but they've still got to send it. And in both instances, the fee to send it is the same. So we'll come around to Elaine. Elaine, have you ever taken money out of your crypto portfolio into your bank so you could touch it?
No, I have not.
Okay. Then if you do have a to-do list, I highly encourage you and invite you to add to your to-do list, get hold of some of my crypto in my hands.
Okay. Swissborg, here I come then.
Cool. Swissborg, so I'll send the link. I think Swissborg is one of the easiest, especially knowing what you've got. You won't have Revolut. Yeah, just go with Swissborg. It's easier. Angelita, I'm coming around to you, darling. Oh, you do have a Revolut account?
I have a Revolut account.
So then what I would do then is I'd encourage you to get Swissborg and Revolut and do that whole thing. So do it through both. So you've got 2 clear exit pathways.
Okay.
Angelita, give me 1 second. Austin says, I feel like once I get to that point where I'm taking crypto out, it'll be costly. I don't think it will be. But the fact that you're saying, I feel like once I get to that point, my argument is don't wait to get to that point. Like, Find out early. Everybody thinks crypto this and crypto that, but like at the end of the day, when the shit hits the fan and something happens and you need to get hold of your crypto, how comfortable and how quickly can you do it? It's a bit like an emergency plan, but you never want it. Yeah, you just want to know that you've thought about it. You know, where would I go to be the nearest hilltop if a tsunami came? That sort of thing. Buy and never sell. Yeah, I was a buy and never sell, but then you get so far down the path and you realize that when you see your crypto go up 50 grand and then it drops down 70 grand, you realize that actually you need to learn to sell. It is really important. Angelita, you need to get to bed, darling.
No, I'm all right. I'm all right. Yeah. So I have got a Revolut account.
So have you sold? Okay, good.
No, I haven't. I've got very, very little compared to everybody else here. Mine is in the hundreds. It's not a lot of money at all. Because last year I didn't have any money, and very cautious, and just still working my way back up to having money, but not in the place of not knowing enough about it and not feeling confident enough to go, I'm going to put a few £100 in here or do this or do that. So I haven't. But seeing the
what's the one thing that's holding you back from having the confidence to put a little bit more in?
My own financial stability at the moment, because I've got everything was turned upside down literally last year, so I'm sort of making my way back. There's a few things I want to put in place, which is going to give me a stable regular income, which I don't have at the moment, because relying on funded projects is not stable or reliable. Once I feel that I'm there, then I think I will do some more. But then that also, in a bizarre sort of like vicious circle kind of way, stopped me from finding out more, because I thought, well, I can't do it, so I don't need to know anymore. But now I've got to the point where I think, no, actually I do. I need to know how to get it out if I need to. I've got a Revolut account. What I don't understand, and I've tried to find it online and I can't, and then again, because I didn't have to, I've left it, is how to move some of the GBP in the Revolut account into the Euro account, how to convert that. I haven't worked out how to do that.
So in that instance, the button you're actually looking for is sell. So the term Revolut uses to move between accounts is buying and selling. So because if you think about it, you aren't actually moving money. The GBP account and the English account are two separate accounts. So you're selling British pounds for euros, and as soon as it happens, your Euro account will have euros in it.
Oh, okay.
So you'll notice at the top there's a button that just says if you're in GBP, it will say sell, and there'll also be a buy button. Okay. Well,
I saw it.
Right now.
So sell. So if I go sell. Oh, right. Thank you.
And then underneath it'll say what do you want to sell. What do you want to sell into?
And so you're gonna. I've only got two, so I've got GBP and Euro. Okay.
There you go. And the rate's always the interbank rate, so it's one of the best rates you can get. And that's it. And it's nice and easy, and you pay no fees.
Okay, and then I have to send money from there into crypto.com to establish that connection.
You would then, I mean, if you're looking at on-ramping, you're on about to create the off-ramp connection. Yeah. To create the off-ramp connection, you have to actually send money using a bank transfer. You don't need to do it to buy. So, but just remember that there's an old saying within for financial independence is that you pay yourself first. Now that's really hard to receive if things are tight. Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
But just remember that even in crypto, for crypto, you can start with like £1. So there's a psychological thing that occurs when you're like, no, every week I'm going to put £1 in. And on Revolut, you can create vaults.
Oh.
So I created a vault on my Revolut, and I set it so that every time I spend money, it rounds up to the nearest pound, and it puts that change into my Revolut account.
Oh, wow. Oh.
And I call it my crypto vault, and I have it set at £50, and I never think about it. And every 6 months, I'll get a message, and it'll say your crypto vault is full,
Right.
and there's 50 quid in it, and then I'll go and spend that crypto money on something or something.
Okay.
So there's always ways around it, because financial independence is a slow and steady, non-sexy path forward. There's nothing fancy about it or showmanship about it. It's very boring in a way, which is why everyone thinks finance is really, whatever terms they might use, but the reality is true wealth and true financial sovereignty comes from really slow, consistent, diligent actions. So if I can help any more with that, just reach out and let me know.
Thank you.
But it would be good to be able to help you to just start to move forward with bits and bats. I know that I don't think Kirsty would mind me sharing, because she does share it on the calls. Like, she only started, she put like a couple of £100 into her crypto, and it was worth 4.5 grand or something like that the other month, and that really helped her with something.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
just know that you don't need a lot. Yeah, we guys, we are so early. I know you couldn't see that adoption curve, but we're barely past the tech innovators, the first bit. Yeah, we're just in the middle of the second bit, let's say.
I'll just share something very quickly.
We're not at the early adopters.
My daughter's stepson, so my step grandson, basically, I think he's 21, 22 this year, and he thinks he's a big whiz kid and everything. He really wanted to be a what do they call them? A trader in the city. He thought he isn't going to be that, but anyway. And he was talking about Bitcoin and stuff. Yeah. He's not going to do that, but anyway. And then he said something about Bitcoin. He went, "Oh, do you know about Bitcoin?" And I went, "Yeah, I've got some." And he was like, "Oh my God, wow." And he was proper gobsmacked. I was like, "Yes." And he was like, "Oh, bloody hell, Nana, I didn't think you knew about that." And I was like, "Of course I do." Thinking,
you're ahead of him.
Please don't ask me anything else, because I don't know anything else, but I've got some.
It's cool. You hold it there, you see. At that point, he was like, okay.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, it did make me giggle.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of why we run these groups, the guys, that there is a huge transference of wealth that is occurring across the planet, like astronomical, and not everyone's doing it for the right reasons. But that's like looking at CSR and say, oh, that big company's only got a green policy for marketing. Maybe so, but that doesn't stop what's happening. And with the financial side of things, people, especially Westerners, are just so used to currency and money staying the way that it is. You go from countries like South Africa, you go to countries like Zimbabwe, Venezuela, Bolivia, who have had their currencies ravaged and changed and removed overnight. And that's what's occurring right now, is that we're slowly shifting away from a US-backed global reserve currency. And gold's going to come back into it somewhere, somehow. And this is happening right under our noses right now. More people haven't got a foggiest about it. I don't get too caught up in who's doing it, why they're doing it. Is it good or bad, which are incredibly subjective terms. All I know is this: there has never been a financial system like Bitcoin ever in recorded history, ever. A system that is not owned by a single government, any government. It doesn't even have an owner. It's run because a lot of geeky people around the planet continue to believe in a form of currency that is independent. And that is what will always step out Bitcoin as separate from every other currency on this entire planet. And to date, every currency that has ever existed has always gone to zero. And I say currency, I mean notes. Over the course of time, no currency has lasted. And so nothing makes, there's nothing to say that USD, GBP, or any of these currencies will be any different from that. And that's why we have a chance with cryptocurrencies and with Bitcoin to break away from whatever forms of control there have been with regards to money. And that's one of the reasons why we encourage people to just look at it. Just look at it and don't listen to the papers, and be safe and know how to move your money around, because before you know it, it will just overtake the whole world. And this next 2-3 years are going to be bonkers. If you think last year was bonkers in general, the next few years to come will be even more so. But if you can do a few things today, and I mean like today, and every single day a little bit, it could be, as far as you're concerned, relative life-changing results. And if we can help you do that, then that's one of the aims of what we're trying to do in FLT.
That's
Cool.
fab, thank you.
All right, Austin, thank you for your comments. This was a phenomenally helpful 90 minutes. Thank you, sir. I know you're interested in fees as well. When we do the Uniswap call, you can ask more of that and we'll go into deep dives, but I really want to focus on on-ramping and off-ramping, going through this cycle here. So for UK people, you've got your options: Swissborg, CDC, and Revolut. Austin, definitely focus on CDC. See if you can find a way to get crypto.com out into your bank account. The calls are the same day and the same time every week. They're on Tuesdays, 5 p.m., 3 p.m. Eastern time, and 8 p.m. UTC every single week. So we'll step out next week onwards. Next week's going to be Uniswap, and then from then on, we're going to do a 10-week sprint on well in advance of what the 10 weeks are. And our aim, what I would like from the community, is if you are aware of people that want to get in, this is like a 101 from beginning to end and we'll handhold people through the process. So we know there's people out there that are interested. They're just waiting for someone to literally guide them through it. So we'll do a full 10-week process of, I haven't got a clue how to spell blockchain, all the way through to, oh my God, all I see is code. Okay. That's what we're going to take people through.
Okay.
With that, I will say goodbye, farewell, be safe, look after your crypto. Remember, it's not your keys, not your coins. And we always have a group to connect during the week. Much love. Thank you very much, everyone,
Thanks
for being with us today.
See you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye. Thanks,
Bye.
Daniel. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.